well, to take me to the bridge.
Yeah.
You having the thought of maybe leaving?
Yeah, it was probably 5 or 6 years ago initially, just driving from Stockholm through Sweden and then across, eventually coming to Copenhagen. Just that feeling of exhaustion of being 40, kind of living a lifestyle that is really catching up with you. It's like an out-of-body experience, really, that bridge in particular, just like hovering above myself, looking at the past of the band and all our kind of our songs, our friendship, Richie, everything, thinking how do we kind of keep to that standard. And then, but the bridge itself is so uplifting as a piece of architecture. And, the beauty of bridges is it's transition, you always leave something behind and you always pick up something new. And, by the time we'd done that show in Denmark, everything felt okay. The band became the faithful friend and not the fatal friend.
Was it a long period that you had a doubt, or?
No, I think if we're being honest, the three of us, it feels like that pretty much every 2 or 3 weeks now, because it's just hard juggling families and different lifestyles and traveling and just being old, really. We try our best to feel young, but it's not an easy fit anymore. I mean, this tour is into its 3rd week and we kind of, much as I absolutely love being in Amsterdam, can't wait to do the show. It is a struggle, yeah, being away for that long.
But how do you, stay focused then?
To be honest, I think that's down a lot of times to the fans, because I'm not saying we're the biggest band in the world anymore, but the fans that turn up are so obsessed and dedicated that that desire forces you to, to believe when you go on stage that you still matter.
And how do you stay fresh music-wise when you record albums and songs?
I think that's easy, because like I said about the kind of constant source of inspiration that artistically we are always stimulated, sometimes in a negative way, sometimes in a positive way, but it's always there. And we have no problem writing songs, it's just whether they're good enough, yeah, to release.
And when you wrote the songs to this album, I think they were written during the same time, yes, as Rewind the film. How come you ended up with an acoustic set of songs and these songs? Can you explain in hindsight?
Yeah, I think the way the album was shaping up, you could tell it was coming apart. There was this very kind of almost Welsh folk acoustic record, which was quite severe lyrically in terms of inspired by Welsh poets like Dylan Thomas and R.S. Thomas. And that was very intimate. And then we had this other side, which was full of motion and full of travel and full of references to Europe and traveling through Europe. So at some point we just realized they didn't fit.
But how come in hindsight that you have these two sides? What happened during that time, or what was the band at?
I think we're just a really schizophrenic band. Every album, like the Holy Bible is as dark and post-punk as you can get, but then the next record after that was Designed for Life, which was orchestral, Phil Spector, commercial. We've always had that in us where we just get bored really quickly, yeah, being who we are.
How come, the album's called I don't know how to pronounce
Futurology.
it. Futurology.
Yeah, no, it is hard.
For me, it's a hard word to.
It's hard for British people.
When did you come up with the album title? Was it afterwards?
No, I was reading a lot of the Futurist Manifesto and the kind of futurist art of the early-ish 20th century. And I'd always been. There's a Pearl Jam album called Vitalogy. Yeah. Which I always liked. So a mixture of futurism, futurology, vitalogy, all those things. It's the kind of way I work, really. It just felt like a really good snappy title, yeah, about what we believed in.
And what does it say about the songs on this album?
I think it says that there's some kind of optimism in the power of art to change your life, really. I know it has for me. Music, film, literature, visual arts, they've certainly made my life more interested in than my education did, you know, and I'm lucky enough to get a degree and stuff. But the energy and joy I've got through art is you know, it's the thing that's kept me going.
There's also a song on the album which has the album title. Is this song more important, or?
I think it's some kind of, yeah, it's some sort of optimistic statement that the power we believe in of music and lyrics to transform you, to transform your life, to kind of give you a different education. You know, that's why the Clash and the Smiths and Public Image and Joy Division, they gave me a kind of different education, which I'm really grateful for.
And how important has John Hughes been for you, the story?
John who, sorry?
Sorry, John Hughes, there's a song on the album, it's called Dreaming a City.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Hughes Hofka, yeah, sorry. Well, it's just a really interesting story. I don't know if you know anything about it, but I bought a book on it called Dreaming the City, which I loved. I bought it for James one Christmas. It had a DVD about this Welsh guy who goes to the Ukraine and sets up the steel industry in the kind of middle of nowhere. It's kind of quite brutal and kind of industrial. And James just wanted to transform that into this monumental, early Simple Minds obelisk of a song. And yeah, again, it's that idea that everywhere you go, or there's a secret history out there. It's not always, you know, just about the big things. There's so much to find out. You know, I'm constantly amazed that wherever I go, you know, there's something really kind of startling to find out.
What is for you? You've written, well, I think the two instrumental songs on the album. What is for you the lyric that you most satisfied with?
There's a track called Divine Youth, which I'm particularly in love with lyrically, because it's just about, I was kind of being influenced by Bradford Cox by Deer Hunter, kind of his statements and his lyrics I love, and he was talking about the power of youth, that amazing energy you have when you're young seems to be kind of dissipated in the sense that they're being sold rebellion now rather than actually being rebellious. And the idea of how strong you feel when you're young. You know, you feel you can. It's the one time when you think you have no fear. So it's just a lyric I'm really proud of, really.
When did you lose that feeling, you?
2 minutes. I haven't lost it, but I can't pretend to be that young anymore. I'd like to be, but it's a certain fearlessness that you have at that age. It's just so all-powerful. It's like you have no experience. You don't doubt yourself. Sometimes you're wrong. I mean, you can make massive mistakes, but also you can, when you get it right, it's just the best feeling.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks, sir.